Hi there. This is my second day of cycling in the Ben Tre region. I wasn't sure if I'm gonna film today, but I really got to show you this. This is a tiny little island about 10 kilometers south of Ben Tre. It's only accessible by ferry, and it is so quiet and beautiful, even more so than the other parts where I have cycled. So I am currently in the north of the island, and I'm gonna cycle a few kilometers. I don't think it's longer than a few kilometers to the south. This is probably not gonna be a super exciting video with lots of action, for sure. So if you're not interested in beautiful landscapes, don't watch. And interestingly, I just met two German long-term travelers. Now, in the meantime, I did meet a few Western travelers. So I already mentioned the guy with the Vietnamese woman in the breakfast room of the hotel, today in the hotel. I've also seen a Western couple. Then yesterday at dinner, I was in a Thai restaurant. There were two French couples and these two Germans today. But that's it. I think there is only this one road on the island. And I think I already mentioned it, this all looks much more tidy than in other parts of the Mekong Delta I have seen so far, and of course completely different from, let's say, the surroundings of Da Nang.
Okay, I will try.
That's a real tropical paradise. Only the beaches are missing. I believe that this is already the end of this island, but we have a bridge to get to another island south of it, which is also only accessible by ferry. And here you can see how large these rivers are. And these are really only little side arms of the actual Mekong. And one thing that is interesting is we are, of course, this is the delta, and we are quite close to the ocean. That means there are tides here. So the water level is rising and falling according to the tides by, I would say, a meter or so. And here we got a fish pond with amazingly many fish. Just look at that. I have no idea what kind of fish they are. Here I could take another ferry across a larger side arm of the Mekong. This is more or less western direction, but just having a look, not gonna go there. Not much to say, just keep on cruising. I know I should add some music to my videos when I'm not talking, but the free options are not that great and the paid options are currently too expensive for me. Currently looking for a place that has cold drinks. Nope. Let's see what happens when we just leave the road and walk along one of these side paths between the coconut trees. Coconuts lying around everywhere. And I don't know if it's true, but I have heard that it really is a common cause of death in these regions to be hit by a falling coconut. But maybe that's just an urban legend. Okay, I think this is the end of the path. There's a house over there and some music playing quite loudly, but who cares? Yeah, here you can see these muddy parts. These are the parts that will be flooded at high tide. It's a weird but very interesting experience to be in a city where you look differently from everybody else. So this is Ben Tre, and I've been here for almost 3 days by now, and I have met 10 European looking tourists. 10 in 3 days. So I didn't come here for the city actually, but for the surroundings. The Mekong Delta, I did 2 bike trips, but the city itself is, for that reason, also really interesting. So Ben Tre is the 8th largest city in the Mekong Delta. According to Wikipedia, it has 160,000. I'm not really sure. I always get criticized for getting the population numbers wrong. But I think it's 100 and maybe 40, maybe 60,000. But not only in the city itself, but the surroundings included. So it is not a huge city, but not too small either. So it's a little bit difficult sometimes to find your way around. So there is a shopping center, there are lots of shops, there are lots of restaurants, but the thing is, basically nobody speaks English, and I don't speak enough Vietnamese to really communicate. I tried learning this language a little bit, but it is really not enough to talk to people. Even simple things like ordering a drink are quite difficult. And that is also because people don't expect you to speak their language. So it is 7 o'clock, and once again I am looking for a place to have a meal. The city is actually quite nice, at least in parts. Some parts are chaotic and also, well, to be honest, a little bit dirty. But other parts are really nice. For example, this park here. I think that parks are looking so nice here in the Mekong Delta because of the humidity. Okay, I just saw a rat running over the path, but this is something you cannot do anything against here in this hot and humid climate. This here is a little lake in the city center. I don't know what it's called. Let's just call it Ho Tai, with a lotus flower and a colored fountain in the middle. Okay, let's try to find something to eat. When I'm looking for a restaurant in a foreign place, I normally look on Google Maps and TripAdvisor. Now, TripAdvisor is absolutely unusable here because nobody is using it. And as I said, there are hardly any tourists, so most restaurants get no ratings at all. So this whole thing is unreliable, and Google, okay, can be used, but so far I didn't found any significant correlation between the ratings and the quality of the foods. You also shouldn't expect English menus here. And when you look at these Vietnamese menus, it is often quite difficult to find out whether something is a huge portion or just a little side dish. They don't really tell you whether you got rice included or not, so you should always ask. And yes, of course, I'm using Google Lens to translate the menus, but I think the translation are not really good in these cases, and most of all, they don't tell you how much you will get. Is it really enough to order one meal, or should you take another one? Do you need to take a side dish? And this is especially difficult in seafood restaurants, I have found. So in many cases, when you just order some fish or seafood in a seafood restaurant, you just get the fish, nothing else, no dip, no sauce, no rice, and so on. So, okay, I have learned that in this case, you have to ask. Okay, I think this is not the best way to cross the road. Let's go down to the river. But asking doesn't really help when nobody understands your language and you don't speak their language good enough. And I tell you what, on the first day when I came here, I tried to find a place to get one of Vietnam's signature meals, the banh mi. I was not successful. So here in these smaller non-touristy towns in the Mekong Delta, things are a little bit different. And yes, waste management is special, as you can see, but don't think that all of this will remain there. It will be removed. So tomorrow morning it will no longer be there. So this doesn't really mean that it's dirty or unclean. Also, it is not perfect, of course.
Wow.
Okay, that's the riverside. Here is the bridge. There are some restaurants on the other side of the bridge, but I've been there yesterday, was okay, but today I like to try something different. And I have seen that this way there should be some more restaurants. So let's have a look. Okay, here we got some kind of restaurant. Don't know what they have, but looks like they have, I'm not sure, maybe tap beer, which would be good, but who knows. Nobody inside, which is not good. Another empty restaurant. Not gonna go to an empty place. At least they have some kind of menu. So I know the basics. I mean, boar is beef, car is fish. This is vegetable, but you can see that all the things are sold by whatever, 1 I guess that's 100 grams or by 1 kilogram, and it is also not clear how much you will have to eat, how much you will get. So don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining at all. This is just what I was looking for, but maybe other tourists might be not so satisfied with that situation. Look at that. That's the church. And there is even a nun. But what I'm actually looking for is food. Street food is not what I'm looking for right now, but I think here are some more restaurants. This one is closed. What about this? Okay, not really what I'm looking for. Maybe these beefsteak things might be okay. I think I had something like that before, but let's keep on looking for something else. Looks like we are getting to a more happening area. This is just a coffee shop. Street food. Colorful hotel. And another coffee shop. Again, coffee shop, juices and drinks. Okay, this is really getting difficult, as it seems. Maybe I'm gonna go to where I've been 2 days ago, on the other side of the river or canal, because didn't find any real restaurant so far. Okay, maybe that would be an option, but it's also empty. I mean, it's 7 o'clock, I think, so it's dinner time. Okay, over there, let's have a look. There is this restaurant on some kind of boat. I have seen it on Google Maps. Looks kind of fancy, but once again, it is empty. Nobody there. So it is Tuesday. Wait a minute, is it Tuesday or is it... I think it's Monday. Maybe it is just like in Europe, where many restaurants are closed or people just don't tend to go dining on Monday. But Never heard of that. Would surprise me a little bit. Okay, that's it. That's it. I think I'm gonna return, go to the other side of the river and hope that at least these shops will be open. Okay, think I'm gonna try this one. Okay, that's looking fine. Sizzling. And it comes with some salad and a banh mi bread. Just not sure how to eat it. That was a good decision. That was really good. And also relatively cheap. I paid, what did I pay? Well, the meal itself was just €2 and with drinks a little bit more. The thing is, I had this type of meal before 2 years ago and I roughly knew what to expect, but this one was really very good. So that's it from the city with no tourists. Tomorrow I will be in a completely different place that is very international as can be. I've been there before. Okay, bye bye, see you.